And Leichhardt Oval in Sydney's Inner West, Sydney Soccer's newest soccer venue, welcomes you as we welcome you to another match of the day. Our main match here today is between APIA Leichhardt and Sydney, Croatia. Certainly one of the most attractive fixtures 2 or 3 years ago in the league when those two clubs were doing so well. Not so much the story this year. They both started off struggling rather, but both very much on the improve as we speak. One team picked up a draw last week, the other won a victory, a very valuable one, away from home. And APIA Leichhardt's new signing, the big new signing this year, Scotty Ollerenshaw is with me. Scotty, welcome to the program and welcome to APIA. Welcome back to the NSL. I'll take you back a little bit in a moment about perhaps what went wrong in the old days with Olympic, but just explain to me what caused the improvement in APIA, because you did start off very, very slowly and then you had that disaster down in Melbourne.
Yeah, well, we had about 5 or so new signings to the club, which took a bit of time for the team to actually sort of blend together, but now slowly we're improving, and it's an improvement game by game so far.
Okay, now your particular game has obviously improved. You had your problems at Olympic, and I don't want to go over that too much, but obviously, I mean, is it fair to say that the game plan that Manfred Schaefer has here for you is perhaps more suitable to your game?
Yeah, that would be fair to say. The ball's played a lot more to my feet, and I'm not playing too well, but I am slowly getting there. So hopefully soon, the goals will start to come.
Now Sydney Croatia is on the improve as well. They did very well last week, and they have been improving. They had a bit of a jittery defence at the start. How do you see coping with them today?
Well, they've got some good young players. It's just going to be a game of sort of wait and see. That if we play the ball early to our feet, I'm sure that we can do well.
Željko Kalac is the big goalkeeper. He's the tallest, one of the tallest men, if not the tallest man in the league. So I gather that the high ball into the box won't be that visible today.
That's right. I went and saw him play last week, and everything in the air, he just sort of snuck up. So we're going to have to do our crosses along the ground today.
Well, I hope from an entertainment point of view, I hope we see one of your dazzling displays today. Scotty, good luck today.
I hope so, Les. Thank you.
Thanks very much. That's Scotty Ollerenshaw of APIA, and with me now is Johnny Warren. Johnny, Scotty saying that the high ball won't be used too often in the area because Željko Kalac is built like a telegraph pole. So we might just see some entertaining football on the floor today.
And APIA's attack like it on the ground, but both sides on the improve, and it's really a crunch game because they need to win to stay in touch with the top 5. The selection of Poimer is an interesting one up front, only 17 years of age, with Rod Brown out and another 3 players. It's a bit of a pity for APIA because this is their first game at their new home, and they are on the amend. Ray Bart's last week rating their performance in Newcastle as the best by any club this year, so that's a big rap coming from Bartsy. Croatia on the improve, so we hope for a top game.
Now it is a bit of a inspiration to play in this stadium, in this new venue for APIA, so that'll lift them up a bit. The pitch is still a little bit bumpy though.
It is mainly because of the new drainage system which has gone in after the rugby league season, and you'll see stripes across the ground, but with the growth and a lot of watering, I would think just a matter of another home game before they get that under control. It's a very big ground. I think that's significant. It's something like 115 by about 80 metres wide, 80 yards wide, I should say. So that is going to encourage more open play. So let's hope for a top game.
Okay, I'm sure we'll enjoy it. Johnny, thank you. And Andy Pascalidis is in the commentary box, and he's got the team lineups.
Well, APIA coach Manfred Schaefer has been forced to make 3 changes to the team, which accounted for Newcastle last week, 1-0. Goalkeeper Tony Franken has fully recovered from his early season knee injury and once again will keep goal. 28-year-old defender Paul Carter is back in the right back position, and it's been a full turnaround for Carter. He's returned to the club in which he made his NSL debut at 19. Graham Jennings is the most experienced player in the side, having made 306 National League appearances. Captain Darren Stewart leads by example, and he'll be calling the shots from the sweeper position. Peter Bennett was only signed 3 weeks ago from New South Wales State League side Blacktown, and he's been a revelation. Shane Clinch joined APIA 2 seasons ago from Sydney, Croatia. He made the move along with Jennings, and he'll be out to prove a point or 2. Joining Clinch in the midfield is the club's development officer, Brian Ellem. The 24-year-old has played in every NSL game this season. Up front, former Socceroos striker Scott Ollerenshaw is determined to resurrect his national career, but he is still to score a goal for his new club. 17-year-old striker Derek Poimer is a local product, and he makes his first appearance of the season, replacing the injured Rod Brown. Number 10, Reno Minichiello, will play on the right side of the midfield. Coach Schaefer believes he is national team material. And Jeff Doyle is the 3rd change. The ex-Brunswick Juventus player has come in for John Gibson, who was away on Olympic team duty. The Sydney-Croatia team also sports 3 changes. Željko Kalac retains his spot with Mark Bosnich away on Olympic team duty. Robert Runje will play in the right back position. Ante Žižić makes his debut at left back, and the coach Mladen Franković says he's the best prospect he's seen in Australia. Number 4, Ivan Petković, has survived a late-minute fitness test, and he'll win his spot back in the side. Mark Babić has surrendered the chance to play for the Australian Olympic team in Fiji because of his sister's wedding yesterday, and he'll play in the stopper position. Miro Stipić will assume the sweeper position at number 6. Jose Iriarte has won a spot in the starting 11. The former Argentinian who played over in Argentina, and of course with Warringah Freshwater in the New South Wales State League, will play up front. Pedro Ricoy will assume a midfield position. He's made 185 appearances and is one of the most experienced, if not the most experienced player in the starting lineup for Croatia. The captain, number 9, Tony Krslović, well, he's been studying hard for his university exams, but today he's got the job at hand to lead his team. He's the leading scorer with 2 goals in 5 appearances. Tony Popović will play a new position today. He'll play on the left side of the midfield. A Croatia junior, he's one of 9 Croatian players in the team. And up front, Caleta resumes his position in the side, and Caleta has scored 1 goal this season. He's made 95 appearances and has scored 19 goals. Ante Žižić is the man who's got the job in front of him. He makes his NSL debut today. As Mladen Branković said before the game, he's an outstanding prospect. He had to give him a run in the first team to see exactly how good he is, and he's kept the likes of Mike Kubevsky and Robert Stanton on the bench. And the man who faces the biggest test today for APIA is 17-year-old Derek Poimer. He made a sensational impact late last season, scoring twice against Preston, and he'll be carrying a lot of responsibility over the next 6 weeks with Rod Brown out through a knee injury. And referee Bill Monteverdi gets us underway here at Leichhardt Oval, the new home ground for APIA Leichhardt. In fact, this is the 3rd ground they've used this season, and Leichhardt Oval really is a great place for soccer. There's been a lot of changes in the off-season of rugby league trying to get this ground fit for APIA Leichhardt's home debut. And I'm sure Johnny Warren already, it's a great atmosphere here. There's a lot of families here. This is a sort of aspect that soccer needs, grounds like this to bring in the crowds, to make it worthwhile for them to come out to.
Well, people talk about a lot of things to improve crowds. I think the main one is facilities only. There's splendid VIP facilities here, private boxes. It's APIA belatedly coming here, but now they've got to build up their crowd support, and nothing would do that better than a win here today.
And Željko Kalac gets his first touch of the ball. Kalac coming in today for Mark Bosnich. He was in the side as well last week. And he was the number 3 young Socceroo goalkeeper in the last minute. He had to fly across to Portugal after Mark Schwarzer was ruled out with a broken hand. This is his 13th appearance and a huge clearance. And one for Iriarte to chase. Back now for Tony Franken. It's good to see Tony Franken back to full fitness. The most experienced player on the pitch today, Graham Jennings, the left back, 306 appearances, but the offside flag is up. The referee has now pulled up play for that. So both sides sporting several changes, and just how well those changes work, we'll soon find out. Critical game, every game's a critical game. APIA Leichhardt currently in 7th position, 5 points. Sydney, Croatia further back, but they've been unbeaten in their last 3 outings. As Bennett just jockeys the ball out of play, but the referee spots an infringement by Iriarte. In terms of the history books, Sydney, Croatia really have it over APIA Leichhardt. In 17 outings, Croatia has won 9 games to APIA's 4. And last year, in the corresponding result in the first round at Lambert Park, it was a 1-0 win to Sydney, Croatia. And APIA's only win at home against Sydney, Croatia was back in 1986. But they'll be hoping today for victory at their new home ground. They had to use Blacktown City's ground at the Gabby. And then they played at Concord. They're at Leichhardt Oval. Darren Stewart, the captain, in possession, looks for support. Feeds it to the right for Paul Carter, back in the starting lineup after being dropped after that 6-1 loss against South Melbourne. No trouble for Kalac. And Sydney, Croatia boasting one of the youngest defences in the competition. Although Miro Stipić, who came out to Australia from Rijeka, Croatia, he assumes the defensive role with Babić. Iriarte looks inside for Petković. Petković gets there ahead of Ellem, but there's no chance at all for Tony Popović to get to that. And that one's an interesting change, Johnny. Tony Popović moving into a midfield position.
Yes, having seen him quite a lot in Portugal, it does appear a strange role for him, but I believe midweek in the Cup, Andy, he had an outstanding game when Sydney Croatia did beat Melita. The other really interesting battle here this afternoon is going to be between these two youngsters, Žižić and Poimer. Poimer only 17, Žižić with those rave reviews from his coach. That is going to be a very interesting battle in the Croatian defence, but the last time I saw Sydney Croatia, they lost rather badly in the opening round to Heidelberg. They have added Stipić at the back to give experience to the youth, and that does appear to have been working in recent weeks.
And talking of youth, Mark Babić puts in the challenge on Ollerenshaw, but Ollerenshaw wins out in the end, and Stipić missed it, and it's hooked away by Runje. Good defensive work from Robert Runje. So again the throw for Jennings, down the line again for Ollerenshaw. Babić in his back pocket, he still gets the cross in, and that mini post was Kalac. So the run had come from Clinch. And on 2 occasions in the last minute, that near post almost exposed by the runners from APIA. Kalac, huge clearance, easily clearing halfway. It looked like Bennett had pushed in the back on Iriarte. The referee waves play on. Stewart comes away with it from the back. He looks forward. Reno Minichiello. Coach Željko suggests that he will be national team material. The back heel from Poimer, not a bad idea. Didn't come off for him though. It's back with Stipić. Playing it long for Iriarte. And this time the referee pulls up Bennett for the foul, and Jose Iriarte, I saw him play in a trial game against Sydney Olympic. Didn't have that much of a chance to impress, but he's impressed the coach in recent times. He scored the winner in the Cup midweek against the holders Parramatta Melita. Here comes the high ball. Doyle was there, no trouble for him. Ellem, good challenge by him. Equally impressive was Petković, but still Jennings is there to pick up the scraps. Clinch playing it down the line, but too far in fact for Graham Jennings. Runje, who was tested at sweeper pre-season, the first round of the competition, now at right back. This is not a bad run from Iriarte. The support comes in. Caleta now, Iriarte, and Bennett. He gets a nice cross in. Carter was there. It was missed by Carter and Caleta. Or did it take a touch from Carter? It's just rolling up for a throw-in. And in fact, it didn't take the touch. Bill Monteverdi straight away signals that both players missed that. And Joe Caleta, nice run from him. Pressure for Ellem. Caleta was there. Carter stabs it forward for Ellem. Minichiello won't keep that in. It goes behind him. 6.5 minutes in, as yet no score, but really no click-up chances to either side. And Iriarte. Lovely skills by Iriarte, and Jennings just clearing away. Good work. He cleared away from Ricoy. Well, I thought it was off Jennings, but it must have come off Pedro. Goal kick taken. Carter's there. Short for Franken again. And wide on the left is Jennings. He's played it short to Bennett. Another interesting aspect early on is the fact that Krslović is playing behind Iriarte, John.
Well, he did this midweek against Melita as well, particularly in the first half, coming from behind, but in the second half playing more in front. I noticed that Manfred Schaefer has put Jeff Doyle, very experienced player, on Krslović to mark him. That run from deep can be very troublesome, particularly a player of Krslovic's goal-scoring ability. But the one to catch the eye so far, Andy, has been Iriarte in front. Two excellent bits of improvisation, the type of skill that does upset the best organised defences. And Bennett has impressed me when I've seen APIA this year. He's going to have his hands full tonight with Iriarte. And that's one of many very interesting duels going on out there in this settling down process.
So Tony Krslović tagged by Doyle. Krslović has got a great strike record in the National League. 39 goals in 100 appearances. It's played short though by Ricoy. Back for Iriarte, the 1-2. It looks like it's going to come off for Iriarte. Can he get past Stewart, though? Surrounded by APIA players. Away for a corner. Good work by Iriarte. Good perseverance by the Argentinian striker. And it almost was going to be played short to Runje. Petković again. Second attempt at this corner. Babić missed. Came off Poimer's head. Might have actually clipped Babić on the way through. So Paul Carter back in the starting lineup. He was very disappointed last week. Back home. Ollerenshaw. And the new buys in the off-season. Foster Bennett only joined the club 3 weeks ago from Blacktown. Bennett looks up for support. Short for Ellem. Ellem looks up this time. He was thinking about Carter. Plays it straight through the centre for Ollerenshaw. Clipped away by Petković. Well, he did extremely well, Shane Clinch, to keep that one in. The long ball, there's no one there at all for Croatia. Stewart. Back inside for Bennett. So APIA have done extremely well in their last 2 outings in the Coca-Cola National League. They beat Preston 1-0 at home, Concord Oval. And they beat Newcastle away from home. Wanting to maintain their momentum after a pretty slow start by their own standards. Croatia only getting their first 3 points of the season in their last 2 outings, so the Sydney clubs haven't been as dominant as previous seasons. And now Žižić. Deep ball, Doyle was there. Straight to Petković. Thought about shooting, controlled. Ellem was there, stabs it straight to Krslović. A lovely shot and a lovely save. First clear-cut chance for the match. And it almost proved costly. Possession given away at the edge of the area. And Tony Krslović just showing exactly why, John. He scored 39 goals in 100 appearances before this game today.
Well, there's not many worse places to give the ball away, is there, as APIA did there. But what a great save from Franken. That was well placed by Krslović and great goalkeeping from Franken.
So 11 minutes in, 0-0 is the score. First chance of the match. Still the pressure's on the APIA defence, and they're all deep for this corner. They're all hanging deep, not too many at the near post. It's a deep one, curling. Again, it was Doyle heading away from Babić. Caleta and Poimer. Caleta gets there first. Can he keep it in? He does. Turns inside of Doyle. He can't get through Poimer. Tries to play it back for Babić. And it still falls loose for APIA. Ollerenshaw on his own at the moment. Looks up for support. Spreads it wide for Carter. Now they break from the middle of the park. Carter plays it short for a Minichiello. Momentum just breaking down slightly. Possession, the important thing though. Jennings looks inside. Ellem has had a busy first half. Minichiello, we haven't seen too much of his skills as yet. Popović doing a good job staying with him. Doyle aiming for Ollerenshaw. Stipić there first. Now Clinch and Petković steals it away from him. But another breakdown. They've given possession away, just switching from side to side. Still, it's a testing early start for both teams, John.
Yes, I think APIA are making the mistake of playing in the air, and they really don't have any height up front. You look at the likes of Ollerenshaw, Minichiello, Clinch playing more in a more advanced position on the left. Poimer, I don't believe aerial superiority is one of his great strengths. So for APIA to play the ball in the air with that type of striking quartet really isn't on. They've got to build it more, and I feel deliver the ball a little bit earlier. Ollerenshaw, you just saw a minute ago, took up a really good early position and didn't get the ball. It was played laterally. They really have to have those penetrative passes working a little bit better than they have at the moment, and on the ground. Jennings takes the throw. Minichiello. Free is Stewart. It's chased by Iriarte. Good one by Iriarte. Stewart surrounded by Croatia players. Popović is there. Now Petković comes with him. The foul committed though by Popović. The referee, Bill Monteverdi, very concise with his decisions and is very close to the play.
46-year-old Brisbane referee, self-employed. Tells me he's a managing director, but he owns a mechanical workshop. Stewart looking for Clinch. Clearance goes straight to Ellem. And comes across Kalac off his line. No trouble at all for Željko Kalac.
For APIA not to play in the air as well, isn't it, Andy? Kalac is so good in the air, which goes without saying.
And he's not bad with his clearances as well. As Iriarte's back there, it's given away by Bennett. He tries the snapshot on the turn. Not a bad idea at all by Iriarte. That's twice that the APIA defence has surrendered possession just on the edge of the penalty box, and that will not please. As you see here, Bennett didn't clear it away. Iriarte tries the snapshot, hoping to catch Franken off his guard.
APIA pushing their luck a bit, aren't they, Andy? Giving the ball away so easily at the back. The types of lost possession that you just can't afford.
That's not a bad ball at all for Ollerenshaw from Bennett, redeeming himself. Ollerenshaw and Stipić. Again, he gets the cross in, and Kalac just palms it away, and it's headed away by Caleta. Scotty Ollerenshaw has really done the work down that left side. He's got the crosses in, and that time Kalac palmed it away. I thought perhaps he might have palmed it over the bar, but he was under pressure. And Scott Ollerenshaw just waiting to score on debut, his debut goal for APIA since his move from Olympic.
But that was better service from APIA, Andy. The earlier ball to Ollerenshaw. He does take up good positions. And that ball from Bennett was just the type of service that he needs to cause havoc in the Croatian defence.
Ellem. Ollerenshaw's there on the sideline. Lays it down, but it goes out, and he's just walked off. Ollerenshaw not very happy at all, and you don't blame him. But Peter Budden, his first taste of national soccer. Peter Budden, the 22-year-old striker coming on. As John mentioned earlier, from Newcastle, and he really impressed some of the Olympic officials when he played in a trial game against them earlier in the season. Kalac again with a huge clearance. Iriarte tried his best to control that, and Popović. I thought Bennett pushed in the back on Iriarte, then the referee was there. Just 1 minute of normal time left, yet another APIA throw in. Minichiello has possession. He looks inside. Doyle is with him. No runners as yet. Nice chip on for Ellem. Petković showing his experience and perhaps inexperience in the challenge. This will be interesting if APIA can get something out of this. Croatia really have had the better of play in terms of attacking forays, and I think in possession as well. That's the view from behind Kalac's goal as he signals to his wall. Still not happy with the wall. It's Stewart drilling it long and hard and straight to Kalac. And I think on that occasion that Kalac should have had at least 2 more men in that wall, but he saw it was coming and there was no danger for him. Doyle away with a header. Stipić is back there. And long, or just hooking it away. And Krslović with a cheeky curler. The captain leading by example. Željko Kalac has done the job tonight. 1 or 2 occasions he came off the line to deny Ollerenshaw, and he palmed away a dangerous looking cross from the left again from Ollerenshaw. I just wonder how the youngsters now, Budden and Poimer, will perform in the second half, because there is the whistle at Leichhardt Oval. First game of the season for APIA Leichhardt, their new home ground. Not a bad start from them, but a better start from Sydney, Croatia. No goals to show for it from either side. So at half-time here at Leichhardt Oval in Sydney, it's APIA Leichhardt 0, Sydney, Croatia 0. Centre Point Tower, one of the great sights of Sydney, and there's quite a few Centre Point Towers out there today. They've been doing their jobs for both teams. As yet, no score. And Johnny, what can we expect in the second half? It hasn't really lived up to expectations, has it?
Well, it hasn't been a disappointing game in many respects, although we shouldn't take anything away from Croatia. I think they've been the better side. APIA, I'm sure, will have had a bit of a tongue lashing at half-time from Manfred Schaefer. He would like to see more football. We all would at this stage, by the back players participating more in the attack and more control build up through midfield, because it has been absent from APIA's game so far, and it's something that has to change if they're to celebrate their first game here at Leichhardt Oval with a victory.
And it's APIA Leichhardt running from the right-hand side to the left-hand side of your screens. No score as yet. And Croatia has the form on the board against APIA in previous encounters. 17 previous encounters have been won by Sydney Croatia 9 times, including last year's corresponding result, a 1-0 victory. And we do have some full-time scores. Interesting result in Heidelberg. Heidelberg United 2, Adelaide City 2, and we understand that Ivanovic and Tapai were sent off in that game, and Melbourne Croatia bouncing back after that loss last week. Apparently they've defeated Wollongong City 1-0. And of course, later in the program, we'll bring you highlights of some of the other matches and all the scores and results from round 6 of the Coca-Cola National League. First free kick of the second half. In it comes, lovely glancing header. Good work by Ricoy. He's so good in the air. Tony Franken doing the job in the first half. He pulled off a great save to deny Krslović in the 10th minute. That was the best opportunity of the game. We didn't see too many incidents, but let's hope that the players are finally settled. Although APIA without Ollerenshaw, who was taken off with an injury in the first half, and of course Rod Brown, who I spoke to him during the break, and he is such a disappointed man. He even was contemplating perhaps giving the game away because of this injury, his 3rd serious knee injury. But we'll probably hear more of that later, as Jennings in the unfamiliar role of left striker. Well, it's good to see Graham Jennings up there, John.
Well, that's what we're saying. APIA need to do that more. Jennings has got to participate more in the attack, so has Carter. Unfortunately, then, it fell on Flash's wrong foot, didn't it? Had it been on the left side, of course, he probably would have put it away, but falling on his right leg. And a defender's shot, as many would describe it. But APIA need that participation by their defending players in attack a lot more.
That's a great clearance as Iriarte knocked it on. There was no runners. But Jose Iriarte had a great game today.
That news from Melbourne, with Adelaide City having 2 players sent off, Andy, Tapai and Ivanovic, remembering that they got Viet and Vidmar away with the Olympic Games team. Next week they're at home to Melbourne, Croatia. So that is bad news for Adelaide City fans.
Good news for Melbourne, Croatia, and it could be good news for Sydney, Croatia, but impressive defensive duties from Darren, Stewart, the captain. Just getting in there ahead of Tony Krslović. He's played it long, looking for Poimer. Evades Poimer. Stipić almost didn't do the job, but still the pressure's on that Croatia defence. Clearance away, Jennings in possession. Looked like he was clipped earlier. He's still fighting, and this time players being pulled up, and Iriarte and Jennings probably talking about the weather. Nonetheless, a APIA Leichhardt free kick. Stewart has Bennett on his left. Will play it short? No. But then again, he might. He looks up. Poimer's up there. Budden's there as well. Minichiello at the edge of the box. Aim for Poimer or Clinch. Easily intercepted. Bennett. Bennett keeping his cool. And Krslović judged to have come in a tad too late. And he wasn't too happy with that decision. 3.5 minutes into the second half. Darren Stewart again. The Clinch is very strong in the air. Gets the nice ball in. The shot on the turn. Lovely stuff from Poimer. Good work. The first time we've seen the youngster get the half chance, and he did extremely well turning onto that one. Miro Stipić. Last line of defence. Playing it long. Stewart, no trouble at all for him. This time the long balls aren't really working too well for Sydney Croatia. It's APIA Leichhardt who's been taking the game. Franken, good save in that first half, and there's the youngster Paul Souris. Could come into this game as Ellem leaves it for Jennings. Poimer's down the line, he plays it short for Ellem. Ellem, aim for Poimer, Babić read it. Nice ball down the line, Ricoy and Bennett. Turns inside of Bennett, in comes the cross, Stewart was there. Bennett away to Clinch, leaves it for Poimer, nice touch. And Mark Babić with an equally impressive cut out. Now Jennings again, aiming long for Budden. Budden got the header on, Babić is there. Krslović and Doyle chasing this one. Tony Krslović looks up. No support except for Petković. The numbers aren't coming through quickly enough for Croatia at this stage. Runje. In comes the curling cross. That's a much better cross. There's the header, a free header, and that'll have to go down as a very good chance. Caleta was right behind Krslović. And that's the sort of ball that they want to aim for Tony Krslović.
Excellent ball from Runje. Type of ball that's going to cause APIA problems because Croatia have so much dominance in the air. Well curled, well directed, and Krslović applauding afterwards. I'm sure he would have liked to perhaps put that better, more on target, one should say.
Ellem. Budden now. Return pass. Here comes Carter though. Overlapping on the right. Caleta equally isn't fast as him, but still Carter keeps it in. Handball though. Whether it was accidental is another question. The referee made his decision straight away.
Well, it's our point in the first half, Andy, that once APIA's defence starts to participate in the attacks, they look much better side, don't they? We've seen Jennings a couple of times, Carter now. That type of thing has to happen. It's easy to blame midfield, but if midfield players and players up front don't get support from behind, they're going to struggle. And APIA's attack certainly didn't get that in the first half, but a much better opening for APIA in the second half. They're starting to play the football now, and Sydney Croatia starting to hit the long ball. It's almost as if they've reversed tactics in the second half.
Runje leaving it for Petković. In it comes. It's too deep though. Bit of a waste for Ivan Petković and his team. He survived a late-minute fitness test to win his place in the side. Tony Franken leaving the goal kick. No, Darren Stewart back up on his feet, and Franken takes it. And, well, luckily Stipić was back there. Babić was right behind Petković and intended to head it, but luckily for Croatia, Stipić was back there. Kalac again. Such a good clearance. Big one. Jennings up. And Ellem with an impressive header. And Runje went for the overhead.
Kalac gets some great distance with the kicks, Andy, but one wonders whether he'd be better to vary it sometimes. Once the opposition know you're going to kick long all the time, it is relatively easier to organise against it, and perhaps to vary it with a few throws.
Yeah, we certainly haven't seen too many attacks or build-ups for Croatia starting at the back. Peter Budden, who came on for Scotty Ollerenshaw. It's a lovely ball inside for Ellem. Touched on Minichiello, the return. Hooked away for Carter. Carter getting involved. The overlapping from Carter and Jennings impressive in this half. And there's the header off the bar by Minichiello. Hooked away by Runje. There's the chance for APIA Leichhardt. It really came out of nothing. But then again, the build-up was very impressive from APIA Leichhardt. And this time the pressure's on Jennings as Ricoy chases, but it should go back to Franken. And that was much, much better play. The best move, and Carter overlapping, John.
Yes, well, again, we're saying that the defenders have to participate in the attack. Here's Carter, one of the rare occasions coming forward. A splendid header. That was hard luck for APIA. But they really are starting to get their momentum going now. Minichiello, not the tallest player on the field, but he was really left unmarked there, and that was a good header, unfortunately hitting flush on the bar instead of underneath. But much better from APIA. And
Yeah.
Carter and Jennings really have to be overlapping all the time. Not at the same time, of course, but participate in the attack, and they're going to cause Croatia a lot of problems.
There's yet another throw-in, this time on that far side. Ante Žižić finds Iriarte. He looks up, trying to find a way through. He's trying really hard, but there's a foul being committed over that far side. Brian Ellem's not too happy. The referee was right on the spot. Ellem has had a pretty good game in the midfield. Franken getting his players motivated at the back. Žižić with the free kick, and it comes. Souris was up the overhead, a cheeky one, and it was so close to Iriarte. Jose Iriarte's been pretty dangerous around that box.
Beautiful skills, Andy. Iriarte impressed us in the first half with some different stuff, as we like to say. But his skillful, just doesn't get onto it 100%, and hence it goes wide.
The Argentinian background showing, John.
Well, the South American background, but it is terrific skill. You'll see he just doesn't get onto it properly. Luckily for APIA.
Now the pressure's on as Souris and Stipić went in. The foul just at the edge of the box. And Paul Souris, I spoke to Manfred Schaefer at great length earlier on today, and he was telling me that he thinks Souris is the fastest player in his team. That's a pretty good rap. And the youngster has shown us on 2 lightning runs that he does have the pace. This is a great position for APIA Leichhardt. There's 7 minutes left, still no score. The deadlock, will it be broken this time? Ellem is the man to take the free kick. The runners have made their runs in various directions, but it goes again a bit too deep. Clinch will keep it in though. He gets it in. Away by Ricoy. Stanton and Carter chasing. Stanton getting it inside for Caleta. Caleta has a bit of space. Ellem's with him. Caleta going on a tad too long. Is he not? Oh, Franken got down. Jennings is there, but there's a penalty. He signalled a penalty. Well, I want to have a look at this on the replay. I thought Caleta had kicked it a bit too far ahead, but he's won his team a penalty. 6.5 minutes in. Will this be the winner? There goes the run, John.
Well, first impressions were that Franken did go for the ball, Andy, and did actually make contact with the ball. I think APIA a little unlucky there.
Well, the APIA fans behind that goal are not too impressed. They've run out of the stand. They're going to boo and hiss and hope that this penalty doesn't find its mark. But controversy here at Leichhardt Oval. Caleta with a great surging run through the middle. He was surrounded by APIA players. Made the run to the box. Now it's Tony Krslović. 39 goals in 100 games before this game against APIA Leichhardt at Leichhardt Oval.
Former teammates at Sydney, Croatia, so they've
he'll know exactly.
A lot of practice at this.
Tony Krslović. Any predictions? Goal or not a goal?
None.
None. Okay. Krslović and Franken. This will be the real test for Tony Franken. Time running out. There's still no score. Will this be the goal that the Croatian fans have been waiting for? Krslović comes in. A lovely save by Franken. Superb. And hooked away by the youngster Paul Souris. Superb save, Tony Franken. Well. Some people rating off in the last 2 years, but Tony Franken has pulled off 2 superb saves. I remember seeing him pull off a similar save to his right at St George Stadium against St George. And took a touch, it went off the bar, but this time he picked the right way. The training partners, lovely save, he picked the right way, and that was a difficult one with his left hand to pull away. The power from Krslović was there. Lovely save, John.
That is justice, Andy. I didn't feel it was a penalty, and I'm delighted for Franken coming back after that injury. We've seen now in on Match of the Day, Andy, we saw Nastevski against Bobby Catlin miss, and now we've seen Krslović against Franken. The odds really in favour of the goalkeeper, aren't they? When you play against your old teammates, you know how they take them, where they like to put them. And but I do feel that that's justice. I didn't feel it was a penalty.
Well, there you have it, John. The points, just 2 points there for the making.
Yep, but over the whole 90 minutes, you'd have to say that Sydney Croatia, the better side in the first half, APIA in the second, and the way this game is drifting towards a draw, probably all round a fair result. It would have been an injustice had that goal been scored, because I didn't feel it was a penalty, and APIA probably done enough to get a point this evening. I think it's the fairest result overall. Not that fairness and justice take place in soccer results, but that's how I've seen it tonight.
And Jose Iriarte's had a great game today. He's shown some lovely touches, and the jump from the New South Wales State League to the Coca-Cola National League, not a big jump for him at all.
And good experience for Poimer, only 17 years of age. It really is a step up in class to come from Youth League to the National League. He'll benefit from that experience this evening. He's one of the 40 players in our young Socceroos squad for the 1993 World Youth Championships, which we're hosting in Australia. Has scored a lot of goals in Youth League, and it's been a tough baptism, or not a baptism because he has played twice before, but it's been a tough match tonight. But that's how it is up front nowadays. You've really got to earn your money, and he will benefit from that experience.
So 3 minutes left of normal time, but here's that penalty again. Krslović came in, he'd already picked his spot. Franken with a good save. Well done, Tony Franken. A former young Socceroo goalkeeper. 0-0 at Leichhardt Oval. APIA's new home ground. Splendid facility for soccer.
And splendid lights, Andy. I think one of the few grounds in the NSL which has first-class lights.
Certainly has the home of the Balmain Rugby League team. One of the leaders in that sport in Australia. Now Babić and Poimer missed it. Budden was there. In the end, it deflects back off Poimer. Budden in possession. Jennings is behind him. He's probably called for it. He's tried his best to get the cross in. Now Stanton. Cool play by the young Socceroo. Threading it across for Krslović. That was a nice touch by Krslović. Doyle was there, a bit of a push, but then that's it though. 0-0 is the final score. We had some exciting moments in the second half. APIA took the game to Sydney, Croatia. They hit the woodwork through Minichiello in the 17th minute of that second half, and then in the 38th minute, controversy, the penalty was given. Krslović took it, and Franken went the right way with a lovely save, and that left it at 0-0. So from Leichhardt Oval, it's APIA Leichhardt 0, Sydney, Croatia 0.
Andy Pascalidis at the microphone today, and I might mention to you that a new NSL preview program, On the Ball, begins next Friday at 6 o'clock, half an hour early.